Hello everyone, this is Crode giving you a shoutcast in Game 1 in a series between Liquid Red versus Naniwa here on Metalopolis. I'm kind of going back in time. I believe this was taken from the Blizzard Invitational from the European servers. I believe this was round 2 of the winners brackets. So we will be going through here and trying to cast some more of the games. A lot of the games or a lot of the replay sites that I go to and recommendations, they haven't been that good, haven't been able to find new games, so why don't I just go cast an older game that you guys may not have seen, I have not seen, and we'll get this best of 3 series underway. Nani spawning as the Red spawning as the blue Zerg player over here at the 3 o'clock position. Nani spawning as the red Protoss here. Always confusing when the top of the screen doesn't match left and right on a map. But we are going to be taking a look at this particular matchup and see how things go. Probe now making its way down. We'll be heading up that ramp in just a moment. We'll do a quick scout here. After seeing the quick scout, knowing that his opponent's not there, just because there's no creep, we'll continue to move along his merry way. And we'll quickly find his opponent over here at the 3 o'clock position. We are getting the standard wall-in attempt by Nani here. Gateway plus a cybernetics core here equals a very, very small walkthrough position. The zealot most likely will be trained just in case it is a pool first, and it is in fact a pool first, but with no gas. So it looks like we should be getting up a hatchery right behind here in just a moment. Yeah, getting a hatchery right here, and we'll see what comes of this. We are going into the standard simulator play. We should be getting up that second pylon in just a moment. There it is. And then also should be getting up that cybernetics core in just a moment. Probe still wandering in between these two locations here. We are getting up that gas now by Ret, so it is a pool extractor. And I'm not quite sure what he wants to do with it. He may just be trying to train up a queen. And then try to use the queen for the spawn larva ability and get a stronger economy going that way. The pool is up. Queen now being trained. 2 Zerglings, most likely will be 4 Zerglings, as that's the number of Zerglings most Zerg players do like to go for in the early portion of the game. To shoo away this one particular probe, right as those Zerglings are done, a drone should make its way down, try to build a hatchery, as that probe knows that it cannot stick there for very much longer. Cybernetics core more than 3/4 of the way completed. Zerglings now chasing away that probe. The drone going to be able to grow up and be a hatchery in peace, not have any issues whatsoever, as now Nani going into a double gas build. So interesting double gas build. We'll see if he tries to go for a fast expansion attempt. He is going into some sentries as well. So as long as he's only queuing up sentries, he should have a good amount of minerals in order to save up and get something else, or get up either an expansion or some additional gateways, as that's what one probe going to slip by this one zealot here. Nexus still training up probes back and forth, and it looks like the one probe going to make its way down. Zerglings still hopping around down over here, as we are getting a front door being placed down as well. One pylon here makes it much more difficult for Zerglings to run up that ramp. A Nexus may be placed down here in just a moment, as the hatchery about to be completed coming in from Ret. Now spawning pool more than halfway completed on that on the reconstitution, the metabolic boost for those Zerglings, so the movement speed upgrade should be coming online soon, as now Nani is setting up his own Nexus. Now, not much to really talk about. Even though we're at the 5-6 minute mark in this game, something feels off about this game, and I can't quite tell what it is, as we are going into a gateway now. Another gateway could be coming in right behind it, perhaps a 3-gate expand. We do see that Red is being very aggressive, taking up another base over here at the 5-minute mark. 5-minute mark expansions generally mean a very, very strong power drone attempt from Ret. We can see that the Nexus is currently here. A lot more sentries are being warped in. There is, yes, a 2-gate plus a Stargate. We'll see if there's going to be enough of a natural defense here, as the Overlord now starting to push in here, and we'll see if it is going to be able to do any proper scouting, if it's going to catch this Stargate, perhaps get some Void Rays as well, or spot of Void Ray being warped in, as well as you can now see the Zerglings going to be coming around the corner. Will spot this Nexus, but that gateway making such a tight ramp over here, and perhaps we'll be able to get some damage onto this pylon with some Hydralisk a little bit later. The sentries are now shooting down this Overlord. We are getting a Void Ray off of that Stargate now, so those Overlords will be forced to pull back, perhaps sit very, very close to a hatchery. We should be also getting up an Evolution Chamber. No Evolution Chamber. Spoke too soon. Ret now getting up that Evolution Chamber as we are now going into those Void Rays. Void Ray may be able to shut down and deal a lot of damage very quickly. We need to get a Queen here. We need to get some Spore Crawlers. Otherwise, the Void Rays will be able to deal a tremendous amount of damage to the very, very widespread or far spread Liquid Ret at this stage. One Void Ray already, or now being warped in. A second Void Ray may come in right behind it as we are now going into a robotics facility. No, we are going into Phoenixes with the robotics facility. So the Phoenixes will be able to Graviton Beam in order to shut down a Queen. This Spore Crawler takes 30 seconds to build. This one Void Ray will be able to make it over, but I believe that Void Ray or that Spore Crawler should pretty much be done. If not done, there is going to be a Queen nearby enough to offer a little bit of protection, as the Spore Crawlers are getting completed just in time. No Spore Crawler here, though, so that's a little bit of an odd anomaly, as the Void Ray now going to try to push in. Knows that it does need to back off, taking a little bit of damage there. There's the Queen already. So one Queen and a hatchery, 2 additional Spore Crawlers now being morphed in as well. 1 at the natural expansion, 1 at the main base. Will the Void Ray find any free targets? That is the key question next, as those Overlords now trying to back off. There is a Queen now trying to make its way over. That Queen, however, going to get shot down. What is going on? Void Ray now taking a lot of damage. That Void Ray being forced to back off. No transfusion onto the Overlord, though, as the Void Ray taking a little bit of critical damage down to 103 hit points. Still a lot of Zerglings by Ret. Ret will be able to run in. No, not going to be able to see any real information at all. More gateways and now even more pylons being added. So Nani really doing a very strong Sim City, making it very difficult to break this down with any ground units. Perhaps we will see Liquid Ret take to the skies. No, continuing with that ground mode now that he has a Roach Warden and also a Hydralisk Den. Ventral Sacs and Pneumatized Carapace also getting research. More Hydralisk being added. The Hydralisk should be able to shut down those Void Rays rather easily. Also, those Phoenixes, as long as they are not in mass number, can Graviton Beam and shut down or can shut down in Hydralisk as well, as you are now going to see an Overlord going to get take a lot of damage so far. And what's gonna happen with this Queen? The Queen now trying to get in position. There is one Spore Crawler able to get off a little bit of damage back. The Void Ray down to 7 shields, 103 hit points, as we now see 2 Hydralisks currently in play. Groove Spines now being started. We are getting the level 1 missile attack, so Hydralisk and Roaches should be balancing out this army in just a moment. Now, we are running into a lot of gateways for Nani. He is getting his second Colossi up, and we are going to be running off of 6 gateways. So 6 gateway with a robotics facility, with a Stargate, all being able to just crank out a bunch of units. You can see now there is a discrepancy, 97 compared to 122 in terms of the food count. Army combinations, Nani is slightly ahead with a much stronger army. And now even more Stalkers coming in. So Nani maybe doing a bit of a timing push here. Is he going to be... Is Ret going to be able to respond in time? Zerglings are coming back around that corner here. There are a lot of Hydralisks, a lot of Roaches down, as there are Stalkers, Sentries, and Colossi with a Void Ray in here as well. One Spine Crawler, one Spore Crawler. Will it be enough damage to be had? Will the Queen perhaps even try to engage a little bit early? As you can see, the production tab, more Zerglings and Hydralisks, and now the front door, and just taking a lot of damage so far. The Zerglings were able to run back in over here, but the probes now being transferred back over, and now another engagement here. Spine Crawler going to get taken down rather quickly. There's a Spawn Larva. Zerglings unable to really engage. The Void Ray going after a Hydralisk. It looks like the Hydralisk will win that battle there. The Spore Crawler also trying to push back once more, and we are now going into, what is this? A fake of a drop. We're not quite sure what those Overlords plan to do. Hydralisks are now dropping themselves into the battle here. Queen now coming in to engage as well. Overlords essentially without anything. Perhaps they are going to absorb some of that damage as the Hydralisks and Roaches continue to push through. But I believe Nani has such a strong force field position that the Hydralisks are not going to be able to break through, especially with those 2 Colossi and extended thermal lance range, able to slice through this army here. And now we can see Ret is in full retreat, counterattacking both sides. Stalkers Colossi, both sides engaging once more. It looks like those Hydralisks going to finish off many of those Stalkers. Stalkers are not that effective against Hydralisks. Hydralisks are light units, but those Colossi don't seem to have a problem with them at all, as the Roaches once again trying to engage the Colossi, being very, very smart, just constantly being in the backfield, both with very, very low hit points, but still maximizing their damage and staying alive. Infestation Pit now coming in. This is 3 bases versus 268 drones versus 49 probes, as we will see what is going to come of this in just a moment. Roaches, or sorry, we're going to see a Phoenix try to stick or just poke his head in once more. Not going to really work out. We have 2 Hydralisks still running around on creep. Level 1 weapons upgrade on those Hydralisks and Roaches, as they do share. But now the Colossi are coming back in. Gonna shut down perhaps another extractor over here, as the Stalkers, Colossi, and Zerglings once again battle it out. Spinecrawler is going to easily get destroyed. I believe Rhett is in a bit of trouble trying to focus down the rest of these Stalkers here, but really Nani using that extended thermal lance range and just constantly hitting back and forth. The Colossi could get in position, but they are overexposed just a little bit. Stalkers are getting once again in the front. Spinecrawler down to 67 hit points. Will it get canceled or will it be completed? It looks like it will be. I believe that was destroyed. I didn't see a drone in there at all, as the Colossi now finishing off the Roaches and these drones at the third base. Nothing really pushing it, and this 2-base push, but now the Roaches coming in from the back as well, getting in a nice bit of a flank, and Red shutting down many of those Stalkers. Stalkers taking a lot of damage so far. There is a decent amount of creep tumors. Zealots are not able to run away. The Roaches do have movement speed upgrades. Yes, they do have movement speed upgrades. They will perhaps be able to catch up to some of those Stalkers. Stalkers trying to run away once more. Roaches now pecking apart, as Red taking now a slight advantage, and we'll see whether or not he's going to be able to transition in and continue to lay down the pressure. There's one Colossus. Roach is now continuing to push in here. This one front door pylon has already been destroyed. Roach is now trying to engage, but Stalkers are getting destroyed. Overlords don't have anything at all in them. It looks like he's trying to feint that he has some Banelings, as those Overlords are now being forced to back off. Stalker is going to get taken down. Zerglings, Roach is now coming back in over here to engage, but Nani able to clean that up, as now Pathogen Glands finally going to start to be introduced. Roaches now trying to push their way in once more. Is it going to be enough? Roaches continuing to push their way through. Stalkers getting picked apart one by one. The Colossi are now far enough back to not get focused down by those Roaches. Spoke too soon, as a Roach able to get off a final shot onto that Colossus. The Colossus still trying to run away. The Roaches are focusing it down. Stalkers are trying to clean up the rest of those units. It looks like that Roach will get destroyed, and it's going to be a Roach army versus Stalker, and there's the GG coming in from Nani. So Liquid Ret taking game 1 in this series between Nani and Ret here on Metalopolis. Thanks for watching.